All right, so if you're seeing my screen, you see question number 1, x squared over 16, y squared over 4. You need to find the 5 letters H, K, A, B, and C. Okay, just like we learned yesterday, A is the bigger one, so A squared is 16, B squared is 4. So A is 4 and B is 2. And C is found by A squared equals B squared plus C squared. So A is 16, A squared is 16, 4 plus C squared. So you solve for C. C equals 2 square root 3 when you're done with that. Your H is 0 and your K is 0 because there's nothing being added to each of these. So once you find those, the steps of finding the all these things, it comes down to these formulas here, which I'll snip in again. Okay, so the center is well, you can't see it, but this center is HK. So the center is 0, 0. The vertices are the next one here, H plus or minus A, comma K. So that's 0, comma A is 4. So it's I'm sorry, it's I've got this backwards. It's H plus A, 4, comma 0, and then minus 4, comma 0, just using this formula down here for H.
Therefore, okay.
The co-vertices is the other one. So it's going to use, I guess it uses the B value. So it's 0, comma 2, 0, comma minus 2. And then the foci is the last one here. This is the foci. H plus or minus C. So it's 2 square root 3, comma 0, minus 2 square root 3, comma 0. But I'll point out, I mean, I think this this probably has the solution. Oh no, it doesn't. Well, you can likely find this online. Just let me see this one here, because I think you're gonna get tired of seeing us do the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here is, I'll chat that to you if you want. Here is the solutions to this. That looks like the same one. So we'll keep going through it though, if you'd like. And
Let's do a few more to kind of get
yeah,
the hang of this, and then we'll
yep,
go to the other stuff.
yeah. So let's do number 3 because it is slightly different, and then we'll talk about a few other ones. So, all right, number 3. This time, notice it's not solved for 1. The previous one, oops, I have no idea what happened there. Let me grab that. Okay. The this one is not, it's supposed to equal 1. It's supposed to equal 1 here. So you have to divide both sides by 100, which means you're dividing each one of these by 100. So notice like 25 divided by 100 is 1/4 or 0.25. The better way to think of it is like, what is 125 divided by 100 divided by 25, which is 4, and that goes on the bottom. So it's x squared over 4 plus, and then 100 divided by 4 is 25. That's what goes on the bottom here. Y squared over 25 equals 1. And that way you can grab those A, B,
Okay.
and C values again. So I'm going to go to the reference sheet here to snip in what we want. Okay, so we want this one. Reminder that whichever one is larger is A. So this is A squared, this is B squared. Whichever is larger number is A. So we need HK, A, B, and C. So H is 0 and K is 0 because it's not X minus anything or Y minus anything. And then A is 5 because 5 squared is 25. B is 2, 2 squared is 4. And then C you get from A squared equals B squared plus C squared. So we have that 25 equals 4 plus C squared. C equals the square root of 21. Okay, so once you have those, you just use the equations again. So the center Center is HK, so that's 0, 0. The
Okay,
first set of
so I don't understand how you get H and K.
well, what is being subtracted from X over here?
Subtract from X.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like if it was X minus 0 squared, it simplifies to this, and this is Y minus 0 squared, so it simplifies to that. It's you'll see that in the next one that we do, number 5, because it has things subtracting from it. But when there's nothing subtracted, that's what it is. So the first vertex is 0, comma, and then it's a 0, comma, because H is 0. K plus A. So K is 0 plus A is 5, minus A is minus 5. And then the co-vertices, your instructor must have given this to you. You end up using a B instead of A, and you switch these. So it's a little weird. I don't even like this. It's like K plus or minus B, comma, I'm sorry, H plus or minus B, comma, K. So it's comma 0, comma 0. And then K is 0 plus B. B is 2. So it's 2, comma, minus 2. These are the 5 points that you get, or 4 points. They're like the outer edges of it when you graph. So like 0, 5, 0, minus 5,
Okay.
2, 0, minus 2. They're these points here.
How do you know when to add and subtract for K plus or minus B? And
you do both. What the formula says is K plus A is one of them. K minus A is the other one. There's 2 of them total.
Okay.
Yeah, that's important to know. Foci is H, which is 0 again, comma, K plus or minus, so K plus C, 0 plus square root 21, 0, and then it's 0 minus square root of 21. And you'll see if you click on that link, you'll see that the solution is it's right there. Let's at least do 5. And I'm happy to do them all. I don't want to do things
repetitive.
Yeah, do things maybe you want to work on other stuff.
Okay.
So it's up to you. I should do at least one more though.
Yeah, let's do one more and then let's move on to the bookwork.
Okay. So here, you asked this before. How do you know what H and K are? So H is 2 and K is 1. H is the value that makes this 0 up here. It's also the negative of this. K is the value that makes this 0, which is the negative of that. And then you do A, B, and C. So your A is 3, your B is 2, and your C, again, it's A squared equals B squared plus C squared. So 9 equals 4 plus C squared. C equals the square root of 5. All right, now we're going to go back to the formula sheet. I'm going to snip that in. And again, all these are just coming from the formula sheet. There's no magic. I don't have so many special powers. Just know this is your reference, and you do that. So this time, because the A is underneath the X, it's the horizontal major axis. So we're using those equations over there. So the center is HK, 2, 1. The vertices are H plus or minus A. So H plus A, 5, comma, K, which is 1. The next vertex is H minus A, 2, minus 3, comma, K, which is still 1. The co-vertices are a little bit awkward. It's H, comma, K plus or minus B. This one does not have the co-vertices on it for some reason, this formula sheet. So, but we have H, our H is 2, comma, K, 1 plus 2, that's 3, comma, 2, comma, 1 minus 2, which is minus 1. So those are your boundaries of this. So that's 5, 1, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, minus 1. So that's the shape of this thing. foci is h plus or minus c. So h plus c, so 2 plus square root 5, comma, k, which is 1. So notice you can't add those, you just leave it as is. H minus c, 2 minus square root 5, comma 1. So every single problem on this worksheet is finding these 5 letters and then applying the appropriate formulas for them.
All right, that's straightforward.
Okay, so which problems do you have to do on the picture you sent?
On the picture, oh yeah, let me list them out. 9 through 15 odd, 19 through 20, then 29 through 34, then 41, 43, 45, 47.
Okay,
51,
could you
53.
send that,
I'll take a picture of it.
or send that in the chat? That's the fastest way, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't
For
mind.
that will help out a lot. All right, and then I'll just have that up. So I heard 9 through 15 odd. We've actually already done a bunch of these, so this will go pretty quick. All right, so number 9 says find the center radius form for each circle. So we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared.
Setting that up.
Got it. Okay. So center is given h and k. So it's x minus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared. And then the radius 3 is squared, so that equals 9. That's your final answer for that one. Okay, 11 is really similar. They give you h, they give you k, they give you r. So it's x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 1 squared. And then that simplifies. It simplifies to x squared plus y squared equals 1. That's what you're asking me before. You're saying, hey, you know, what's going on with that?
All right.
All right.
13.
Do you have it? So the answer to this one, this is one of those awkward ones. I don't know if it's just x minus 2/3 squared plus y plus 4/5 squared. Could you just check in the back of the book here if this is the form that they use?
Let me see.
Because this is h, this is k.
On those types. Let me see. Here's 3.5. See if we can find it. 6.2 or 6.1. So it should be number 13, right? Yeah, it's just that's the form that they put it in.
All right.
949 at the end.
Great. And then on the right, yeah, it's 9/49. Okay. All right, number 15. So this was like one of the ones we did yesterday. It's the kind of the more difficult ones. You have to find the distance between these 2 points, to find the radius. So the radius is equal to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, square rooted. So we'll just consider this to be x2, y2. So it's going to be 2 minus a minus 1 squared plus 6 minus 2 squared and then square rooted of all that. So this is 3 squared plus 4 squared, which ends up being the square root of 25, which is 5. So your radius is 5. So your radius is 5. Your center, your hk is given -1, 2. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. X plus 1 squared, because the negative and negative makes positive, plus y minus 2 squared equals 25. Because you have to square the radius. All right. So now we're going to do 19 and 20. I would tell you to graph these first so that you have a picture of them. First one's kind of silly. I'm gonna graph it though because it's I'm gonna use Desmos for that. Okay. And if you do this, you're gonna see that I guess this doesn't really check. Okay. There is only one place where this is true. Believe it or not. You might be thinking, what are you talking about? Well, when X is 3 and Y is 3, that's the only time this can equal 0. So describe the graph of the equation. It's just a point. You're used to there being a number over here.
Yeah.
But with no number, it's just a point. Or with the number 0, it's just a point of just one point.
It's just X equals 3, Y equals 3. That's it?
Yep, it's just a point.
Okay.
It's a little odd. I think it's out of context here, but that's what they do.
I guess.
Okay.
Guess
All right,
we're on 20.
Yeah. So this one has no solution, and we're gonna talk about. I have to tell you this, and then I have to tell you why. You're squaring something. So can two positives equal a negative?
Two positives equal a negative? Never.
Nope. So there's no solution. So there's no way to get a positive number out of this. So it has to be no solution. So there is no graph. I guess there is no graph is this.
On to number 29.
29, 34 all. Okay. I would tell you to graph all of these in Desmos. I can graph them all for you. Because they're not asking for any behavior. Like you wouldn't get a test question like this because it would ask you to but for the features of the graph. So these are all circles also, by the way. So maybe we should at least describe that. We should say this is a center of 0, 0 and a radius of 2. You follow that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So the graph, what does the graph look like? Well, a really rough sketch is you go up 2, left 2, down 2, and right 2. So the domain, the X values, it goes from -2 to 2. And the range is the Y values, it goes from -2 to 2. I guess we'll do these are pretty quick to do by hand. Sorry, sometimes I feel like I'm in a rush and I don't need to be, but
It's okay.
I know there's a lot you want to get through. So I don't want to waste time going through stuff that's repetitive.
Okay.
Okay, center here. The center here, the HK, the center here is 0, 0. And what is the radius of this?
How'd you find the radius?
It's the square root of that number.
Oh, just that? Okay.
So maybe I should say that. It's the square root of 36, which is 6. So you draw your point at the center, wherever it is, just happens to be at the origin, and you go up 6, left 6, down 6, and then right 6, and then you try to draw a nice circle as best you can. The domain of this, what's the leftmost X value?
The leftmost X value?
Yeah.
-6.
And then the rightmost X value?
6.
And then for the range, it's the same deal. What's the bottommost X value?
-6 and 6.
Yeah.
This gets more.
Say that again.
These change at all?
Yes. We should do. We'll do a few more here. Let me cancel that. Okay. So 30. What is the graph of 31? Because it's like number 19.
Number 19 was.
So 31 is it's how can two numbers add together and get 0 that are both
0 plus 0?
Yeah, so it's the ordered pair 0, 0. So the domain is just 0, and the range is just 0. And it's just a point. Like I don't even know how you graph that. point. Done. 32. 32 is like number 20. It's another exception. Because you can't square two things, add them together, and get a negative number. It's just impossible.
Okay.
Okay, so how can there is no solution. Okay, there's no place where this happens. So the domain is empty set or nothing. I don't know. Range, same thing. I don't know how you guys show that.
Yeah, on the 33.
Okay. 33 and 34 necessary because the domain and range shifts based on where the circle moves to. Okay, so the circle here, it has a different center this time. It has a center at 2, 0. What is the radius of this circle?
The radius of this circle?
Yes.
Just 6.
Square root of 36, which is 6. So we'll graph this again. We're starting over there at 2, 0. Let me not do that. Okay, so 2, 0. So we're starting here, and we got to go left 2. I'm sorry, left 6, up 6, down 6, and then right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We draw this nice circle, which is horrible. Now, what's your domain? Well, it's the leftmost x value, which is -4. So how did you get that? That's actually 2 minus 6, 2 minus the radius. What's the rightmost x value? It's 2 plus 6.
Just 2. Oh, okay.
Which is 8. Okay. What about the range? What's the bottom value? Well, it's down 6 from the y, so it's like 0 minus 6, which is -6. And this is 2 plus 6, and then it's 0 plus 6, which is +6.
All right. There we go.
All right, 34. All right, so we need the center. The center of this is -2, 5. The radius is 4. So let's draw it. I mean, it tells you to draw it. -2, 5. -2, 5 is right there. And then up 4, left 4, down 4, and then right 4. So there's your circle. What's your domain? Now, imagine, like, I can't cover this up anymore, but imagine you can't see the graph. It's -2, -4. So that's -6. Is that right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, comma, -2 plus 4, which is +2. So you can get it without actually drawing the graph. The graph just helps. Range, you use the y value. It's 5 minus 4, which is 1. So yeah, that's up at 1. And then 5 plus 4, 9. This one's all the way up at 9, if I've drawn it correctly. Okay, 41 now?
Yes, correct.
These are so much easier than ellipses and hyperbolas, and we spend all this time on these, but they're, once you get the hang of it, all you've got to find is H, K, and R to do this. So this has a center at what values? What are the x values of the center, x and y values?
So it's just 0, 0,
and the radius is 9. So your graph is, I'm going to make this by 3, so it can fit nicely. So that's your circle there. That's a nice one. 43.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Okay, what's the center? What's the radius? The center, HK, H is 3, K is 2.
Oh.
Radius is 5. It's always whatever value makes this 0, makes this 0. Some students remember it as the opposite of this number, opposite of this number. Okay, so we've got a 3, 2 as a starting point. So that's right there. And then we got to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 5, down 5, right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. something like that. All right, now it's 45 through 47 all. Okay. Okay, so if you had a graphing tool like Desmos, you could just graph
Punch
this.
it in.
Okay, but the way your instructor wants you to do it is with completing the square. And this is one of those times where you actually can't work around doing it. Actually, I take that back. I forgot about this. All right. So there's this classifying conic sections. I don't know if your instructor showed you this or allows you to do this. So if the number in front of X equals the number in front of Y, it's a circle. Do you remember seeing that in class or hearing that?
I don't remember this.
This
No.
is like a cheat, a shortcut. You're not supposed to do it this way.
Wait, so how's it work against Frank? Can you say that one more time?
Well, A is the number in front of X, which is 1. C is the
Okay.
number in front of Y, which is 1. If
Okay.
A equals C,
The 0?
then it's a circle.
Oh, that's a circle. Okay.
Yeah. And that's assuming some other things, but so the way your instructor wants you to do is they actually want you to complete the square. X squared plus 6x plus, leave a space, y squared plus 8y, move this 9 over.
Mhm.
And what they're hoping is you have to get a positive number over here. Okay, so to complete the square, you take half of this number, and then you square it here, and you get 9 there. Whatever you put here, you have to add over here. So this 9 and this 9 have to match.
Okay.
Same thing here. What is half of 8? It's 4. When you square it, you get 16. So you have to put that over here as well. So what does the right-hand side equal?
9 plus 16. That
Well,
one.
negative 9. Negative 9 plus 9.
This is just 16. Okay.
So is this a circle? Yeah, there's no numbers in front, nothing weird. But you can also do it this way, which is much faster. But I don't know if you're allowed to do that. Like I would ask your instructor, this right here that I snipped in is from the bottom of the reference sheet.
Okay, it's fine. I think that should be fine with it. Let's just keep on going. So we have to find the center and the what is it? The
Oh,
radius.
the radius, yeah. So that's why you complete. I guess that's a reason to complete the square. So the center is -3, comma, -4, and the radius is 4.
R equals 4. Great. On number
Okay,
46.
so I take back some of that. When you do have to find the center and the radius, you do have to complete the square.
Okay.
There's no shortcut around it. And as a student, most students forget how to do this because it just doesn't get made clear. X squared plus 8x, leave a space. Y squared minus 6y, leave a space, equals -16. So remove this -16 over. Okay. And then you have to fill in this position, fill in this position. To do that, you have to take half of this number. So 4 is half of 8. You square it and put a 16 here. So you put a 16 here. Same thing over here. This time though, it's half of -6, so it's y minus 3. And then when you square it, it's a +9 plus 9. So what does the right-hand side become?
The right hand side becomes 9 here.
It becomes 9. So now what's your center?
Center is just just -4 and +3.
Your radius is 3. Okay, so last one here on this 47 before we go to some more problems.
All right, on number 47.
Yeah. Okay, so we x squared minus 4x, leave a space, y squared plus 12y, leave a space, equals -4. So this becomes x minus 2 squared. 2 is half of 4.
Squared.
Then you put a +4 and a +4. It's not the case that these numbers always cancel. It just has happened many times here.
Mm-hmm.
Half of 12 is,
How about total 6? Yeah.
so you square it, plus 36, plus 36. You have to do this at the same time or you will forget to do it. You have to do right side or left side, right side. It's a sharing thing. Okay. Okay, so this makes 36. So your center is 2 comma -6, and your radius is 6.
Perfect.
All right, 51 and 53.
Correct.
All right, so same thing here. You pair the x terms together, and then pair the y terms together, and you move that to the other side. So what goes? So what goes here? It's x plus 1 squared.
Mm-hmm.
So what goes here?
So x plus 1 squared plus 2 or plus 1?
You're squaring this last number. So plus
Yeah,
1,
so just 1.
plus 1. Okay.
Plus 1.
And then here, okay, it's half of -6, -3. So you square this number, plus 9, plus 9. So the right-hand side becomes -4. This is bad. This number needs to be greater than 0.
So this is not a circle.
Not a circle. So that cheat I showed you doesn't really account for this. So that would be.
So I should definitely complete the square like
yeah,
this.
you should definitely be comfortable with it. I'll probably create a worksheet on completing a square now that I realize this is something that everyone struggles with. Comes back over and over again. Okay, 53, I think we said. Yep, 53.
Yeah, we're on 53 now.
Great. All right, so more completing the square. Got a x squared minus 2x plus y squared plus 4y equals -9. This becomes x minus 1 squared. Half -2 is -1. Plus 1 because -1 squared is that. And then you move this over. Half of 4 is 2.
Yeah.
2 squared is 4 plus 4. And you'll see that again, we have an issue. It's -4. This is bad. This number needs to be greater than 0. This is not a circle.
So another thing that's not a circle. All right. Can we go back and just kind of finish the
Of course.
finish the graphs and stuff for 9.2, and that'll just take us to the end.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Say that one more time. The worksheet.
Yeah, just back to the worksheet. Let's just kind of like blast through it. We don't really need to go over it. Just kind of do it as fast as possible.
Okay.
How do you get the Foci? Is that what you call it?
Foci, and it depends on whether you're doing we'll do number 2. It depends where the A is. Depends whether A is under X or Y. Okay, so here A, it's always the bigger number. A is always the bigger number. So H and K are 0.
Yeah.
A is 6. B is 3. C you get from A squared equals B squared plus C squared. 36 equals 9 plus C squared. So you do a little bit of work there and you get 3√3.
How do you get A and B again?
A is always the number A squared is always the bigger number of the two. You have 36 and 9. A is always the bigger number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you
It's probably
square
not
root
taught that
them.
way,
Okay.
but that's way better way to do it. Okay.
Okay, I see what you mean.
The instructors want you to look at the equation or something, and it's or the formula, but it's not necessary. So now I'm going to snip in the formulas, and you have to have these. Like you can't, you got to just memorize them or write them down
Or keep
whatever.
them in the back of my head, I guess.
Yeah, you got to have them. There's just no other way to do this. Just you need the book here to do this. So, which one do we have? It's doing this.
We definitely have the center. What is it like? Still 0, 0 here, right?
So what I'm asking is, do you have a vertical or a transverse? I keep giving you the wrong one. The vertical or transverse is based on whether you have where the A is. Is the A under the X or is it under the Y?
Wait, say that one more time. What's under the X or the Y?
Is A under the X or is it under the Y?
Oh, A's under the Y.
Okay, so that tells you which one it is. That tells you it's this one.
So it's a vertical. Okay.
Okay, and that's how you know your formulas.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's horizontal, then you got to do those formulas. So the center HK, okay, 0, 0.
0.
First vertex is 0, comma K plus A, so 0 plus 6. The other one is 0 minus 6. Then the co-vertices, this one's really wonky. It's K, comma, I'm sorry, H plus or minus B, comma K. For some reason, this one doesn't carry the co-vertices, but so it's 0 plus B, 3, comma 0, 0 minus B, negative 3, comma 0. And those are the 4 points you need. 0, 6, 0 minus 6, 3, 0, minus 3, 0. Like that. Foci is H, comma K plus or minus C. So it's 0, comma K plus C, 3 squared 3, comma minus 3 squared 3.
1, 2, 3. Wait. Hold on a second. I'm graphing it real quick. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2. What did you say?
I'm just writing these down.
Oh, the foci.
Yeah.
Wait, say that one more time. How you got the foci?
It's the formula H, comma K plus or minus C.
Oh.
So you got H, you got K. K plus C is 3 squared 3. 0 minus 3 squared 3 is here.
Okay.
Like I can't emphasize enough. Like once you get these 5 values, you're just plugging them into formulas.
Okay.
Like so you get the 5 values. That's the first thing you do. You figure out which one you got here, and then you write them all down.
Perfect.
There's nothing. See what's hard about this is there's so many formulas. It's not hard to do once you get these values. It's hard to do because you don't know the formulas, and then you really it's just putting values into these equations. It's nothing challenging about this. It's made to be way more complicated because most instructors want you to memorize these equations. Okay, so this is not in standard form. So the first thing is that x squareds and y squareds have to be on the same side. So that would be something like 7x squared plus 5y squared equals 35. And then you really want a 1 here. So you divide both sides by 35. And this is where I mentioned you actually do it reverse. You do 35 divided by 7, which is 5. And then you do 35 divided by 5, which is 7.
Mm-hmm.
And that number is what goes on the bottom. So it's x squared. 35 divided by 7 is 5. 35 divided by 5 is 7 equals 1. So we got to get H, K, A, B, and C. So H is 0 and K is 0 because they're not subtracting anything. Which is the bigger number? 7, right? Maybe you're muted.
I'm watching.
Yeah. So 7 is the bigger number. That means that A is now the square root of 7. A squared is 7, so A is the square root of 7. B squared is 5, so B is the square root of 5. And then C is found from A squared equals B squared plus C squared. A squared is 7, B squared is 5. So C ends up being the square root of 2.
Center still 0, 0.
The center is 0, 0, exactly, okay? So this is again. So it depends. Like, well, which one is it? Well, see, I don't even remember these anymore because it's not useful. There's nothing useful here to remember. But you as a student maybe have to. Okay, so we want the one where A, since it's bigger, is under Y. So again, it's this one. So we're using all these formulas again. Okay, so the vertices are H, comma, K plus A. So it's 0, comma, K plus A, so square root 7. 0, comma, minus square root 7. Co-vertices, I keep messing this up. It's H plus or minus B, comma, K. So H plus B, 0 plus square root 5, comma, K, which is 0. H minus B, 0 minus square root 5, minus square root 5, comma, 0. And then the foci is H, comma, K plus or minus C. So K, so it's 0, comma, 0 plus square root 2, minus square root 2.
Awesome.
Okay, and then you can get the graph there as well. All right, 6.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, so this one's a little more.
It's going to be different.
Well, it's right now the 4 numbers. So H is 4, K is -2. 4
So
makes
4
this 0.
2 for center.
Say that again.
4 -2 for center then.
Yes. And then A is here. So A is 5, B is 3. A squared equals B squared plus C squared. So 25 equals 9 plus C squared. So C ends up equaling 4. One of the few times where we have nice numbers. And these are the same formulas as this one. Okay. Because the A is under the Y and the A is bigger, so we know it's these set of equations. So the vertices are H, comma, so it's 4, comma, K plus A, -2 plus A, which is 3. K minus A, -2 minus 5 is -7. Co-vertices, H plus or minus B, comma, K. H is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7, comma, -2. Then it's 4 minus B, 4 minus 3, which is 1, comma, -2. And then the foci is H, comma, K plus or minus C. So it's 4, comma, -2 plus 4, which is 2. 4, comma, K minus C. So -2 minus 4, -6. All right, where do you want to go next on this?
Number 7.
Number 7. I thought we did 7 already.
Did we? I think that we finished it.
Okay, so we did 1, 3, and 5, but not 7. So we'll get to that.
Get the 7 and 8, and then we'll be done.
All right. 7. So this one is not in the right form. Snip it in here.
Do we need to simplify it?
You want to get 1 on the right-hand side. Okay, so you gotta get 1. So you divide by 16, divide by 16, divide by 16. So on the left here, it's x plus 3 squared over 16. That's fine. But 4 divided by 16, you actually want to go the other way. You can actually do 16 divided by 4, which is
4.
4, and that goes on the bottom. Okay, so that's why.
Okay, so our center is -3, +2.
Yep. So HK, you got to find these 5 letters, HK, -3, 2, A, B, C. So A is 4. Because A squared is under the bigger number, B is 2. And then C is found with the A squared equals B squared plus C squared. 16 equals 4 plus C squared. C equals 2 squared 3. So this one, the A is under the X. So it's the other set of equations. It's the ones on the right here. So this will be a little bit new for us. Ooh, let me get that out of the way. All right, so it's these on the right here, because A is under the X, A is under the X. Center is always H comma K. All right, so the first vertices is H plus A, -3 plus 4, comma K, which is 2. Then it's H minus A, -3 minus 4, comma 2. The co-vertices are H comma K plus or minus B. Okay, so that's H -3 comma 2 plus 2, which is 4, -3 K minus B, 2 minus 2, which is 0. And then the foci is H plus or minus C comma K. So H plus C minus 3 plus 2 squared 3 comma K, which is 2. And then the other one is H minus C, -3 minus 2 squared 2 comma 2. Okay. For the last one here, I'll just identify the variables, and you've got the solution, or you can look for that, or I can snip it in.
Alrighty.
This one's in a nice form, so it's kind of nice already.
Mhm.
All right, so the H and K, H is 0, K is 2. And you have A, B, and C. A is always the bigger number, so A is 6, B is 5, and then 36 equals 25 plus C squared. So C is the square root of 11. Because A is under the Y, it's the one we've actually done more of. It's this one here. So just snip that in. It's obviously these. And I'll snip in the solutions there for this last one. Actually, there's 2 pages to this
Yeah, it's
sheet.
just one page that we're doing.
Your instructor only gave you one.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that is
Yeah.
that's a lot. I don't know how. I hope you understood some of it. It's a lot there, but thanks again for scheduling, Jack, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for your time. I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye.